Justice Arman Singh, Justice Sebastian Force, Mr. Experiment, my dear friend Mr. Zafar Islam in Bharatiya Janata Party, Mr. Mittal, Mr. Chadda, and all the honorable young lawyers that I see here. Seems to be, let me move a little away. So, I think in the eyes of the young lawyers sitting here, Vajpayee have spelled out the agenda for the whole discussion, because you're okay if I mix it with a little bit of Hindi also. मुझे लगता है कि जब यंग लॉयर एक पास होकर निकलता है और प्रैक्टिस करने के लिए अपने आप को मार्केट में लाता है, तो ये उसके दिल को ही पता होता है कि कितना स्ट्रगल होता है पहले 3-4-5 साल लॉयर बनने में, उसके बाद बहुत कठिन डिसीजन टू स्टार्ट योर प्रैक्टिस, एंड देन there are 3-4 kind of firms. There are generational firms where practice is being passed on from parents to the children, and so on and so forth. The reputation of your father and your grandfather carried forward. That's one way of doing it. The second way is there's a large firm. You're part of the large firm, and you join as a partner, gradually come as an associate, become a senior. The third is the most difficult, which is the most common, because the first two categories which I mentioned, everybody is not fortunate enough to be part of that system. जो तीसरा category है, the third category, young lawyers who come into the field and they have to search for an office. They have to first gain experience, then they have to search for an office, then they have to wait for the grey hair. The experience with our clients, And to add to this is today's topic. I was just reading the resolution which the Global Young Lawyers Association of India has passed. I just went through it very quickly, and I think I'm very, very opinionated in this regard. I'm a lawyer as well, apart from being a chartered accountant, and I'm a chartered accountant from India and from England as well. So I've practiced at both the places. But मुझे लगता है कि मैंने जब इंग्लैंड में सीए किया, तो I had to qualify almost all over again, if not fully, almost all over again. I personally feel allowing overseas professionals to come to India, and I'll be very, very categorical in my approach, I think it's gross injustice to the professionals in India. I know countries where lawyers and chartered accountants are allowed to act with us. यहाँ तो आप किसी अनजाने को कार्ड दे देंगे तो शायद कहीं एथिकल वायलेशन हो, बिना पूछे अगर किसी को ये बता दें I want work, तो एथिकल वायलेशन कहीं ना कहीं आपके दिमाग में, जहन में रहता है that I might be violating something. So the strong ethical standards that we have here, unfortunately, these strong ethical standards are not there in many overseas jurisdictions. 140 करोड़ की हमारी आबादी, अगर कोई कंट्री के हम लॉयर को परमिशन देना चाहते हैं या चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट को परमिशन देना चाहते हैं, तो आप 140 करोड़ की हमें मार्केट दे दीजिए, हम इजाजत दे देते हैं। आपके पास, मुझे तो नहीं लगता कोई कंट्री मैच करती है चाइना को छोड़, and we are not even talking about China, we are not even considering China. You give us an equal, fair competition that our lawyer can go and practice there, like your lawyer can come and practice here. I'm okay. I will allow you. Unfortunately, there is no country which can match the opportunities which a foreign lawyer will get here, and our lawyer can on a reciprocal basis get there. That's not possible. We were talking of UK, 7 crore population. कुछ हिस्से तो ऐसे हैं नॉर्थ इंग्लैंड में जहां पर आबादी नहीं है. You can practice in a handful of those towns on a very, very limited scale. So where is the reciprocity? Where is the reciprocal opportunity? That's simply not there. We are ethically strong. We are culturally very strong. अब कोई family law में practice कर रहा है, there are a lot of family nuances which you attend to a client. which play a role in your dealing with the client, in your arguing the case. Now, where will this foreign lawyer get that cultural nuance from? How will that soft part of the consultation, of the argument come from? Because they have not been bred like that. They have not been brought up in that manner. What about data privacy? You have, imagine a foreign law firm practicing here, having access to all kinds of data and information about India, about clients. Suppose it's a corporate law firm. You get access of the stock markets, you get access of the Indian vital data. Our client को deal करने में, client has to share with you some very, very confidential data. This data could have a macro impact. आपकी तो firm ABC lawyers हैं coming from somewhere in Europe or somewhere in America. ये data आपका easily रातों रात वहाँ चला जाएगा. What about data privacy? That's not going to remain there. Intellectual property rights. किसी ने मेहनत करके यहाँ पर अपना नाम बनाया, अपना brand बनाया, and suddenly that brand is carried around the world. What about IPR? Ethical issues, IPR issues, cultural issues, unfair competition. एक law firm जो कि इंग्लैंड में 100 साल से काम कर रही है और एक young lawyer जिसको अभी 2 साल यहाँ पर हुए, do you think this young lawyer can compete? उनके पास 300 लॉयर काम करते हैं, 1 घंटे के वो 10,000 पाउंड लेते हैं. वो यहाँ आके इमीडिएटली पिच करेंगे, जो बड़ी कंपनी होगी उसको सीधा पिच करेंगे, आप उसके सामने नहीं खड़े हो पाएंगे. वो कहेंगे साहब, look at the brand, this has been in England for 100 years and so many years, they have got a battery of lawyers, you are young. This is unfair. I call this as unfair competition. That your opportunities will be snatched away by a brand which has been built over 100 years. I don't say, आपके भी यहाँ पर you got your senior firms who've been there for ages. Well, they are also given preference. But at least let us not compete with people who do not belong to this country. So I think as far as the profession of law and for that matter profession of accountancy is concerned, my dear friend Vijay went into the technical, SEBI and the gap. I purposely avoided that. I thought I'll probably talk on the basic issues which relate to this thing. And a very important point, surrogate advertising, as he briefly touched upon. I said you cannot advertise. Look at these firms. I'm sorry to say, but some of these foreign accounting firms, now I'm coming to accounting firms, tell me if you agree with this. Do you find them sponsoring awards? Do you find them judging competitions and bringing their full page advertisements in newspapers? Can an Indian accounting for that? Can an Indian law firm do that? No, because they have parallelly floated another company by a same name which can advertise on anything, depriving the Indian professionals of the opportunities and advantages. आप लोग advertise नहीं कर सकते, वो लोग आके यहाँ advertise करेंगे, क्या result होगा उसका? जो दिखता है वो बिकता है. That's the rule in marketing. They are more visible, they are seen everywhere, they've got a fancy name, they've got a fancy office. Can you afford an office which is 10,000 square feet? Can you afford a swanky office? No. Well, I think the resolution passed by Global Young Lawyers Association by Paisa, I think I second this resolution without any second thought. Categorically, no foreign professional should be allowed in this country. हमारे देश का दिमाग, हमारे देश का talent, हमारे देश के lawyers, हमारे देश के chartered accountants, they are very competent. I'm sorry, we don't need imported brain to consult and argue on behalf of clients in India. जितना अच्छा हमारा brain समझ सकता है, वो foreign lawyers सपने में भी नहीं सोच सकते वहां तक पहुंचने की. So why allow them? That's my thoughts. I'll be brief in my dialogue. There are a lot of speakers. There's going to be very interesting discussion in the remaining part of the session. So I'll keep it short and crisp. And I would like to reiterate the fact, because जब मैं young lawyers की आंखों में देख रहा हूँ, तो मुझे इस रेजोल्यूशन के एक एक शब्द वाजपेयी साहब इनकी आंखों में दिखाई दे रहे हैं। मैं इसमें जो लिखा है और इनके भविष्य के लिए मैं इस रेजोल्यूशन को सेकंड करता हूँ। इससे भी आगे बढ़कर अगर मुझे आप देते तो मैं शायद इससे भी सख्त रेजोल्यूशन पास करता। थैंक यू सो मच।
Thank you, sir, for those emphatic words and voicing on opinion on issues such as data privacy, IPR, and surrogate advertising. All of them very, very relevant across the board. May I now take the opportunity to invite Shri Kuldeep Chauhan ji, owner of Law College and renowned advocate. It's all yours, sir.
Thank you so much. मैं 49 सभी अतिथिगणों का हार्दिक अभिनंदन और स्वागत करता हूं और आज के इस कॉन्फ्रेंस के जो ग्लोबल यंग इंडिया एसोसिएशन है उसमें यंग लॉयर्स को मद्देनजर रखते हुए जो कुछ बिकॉज the institutions are providing the legal education like the law colleges who are providing the undergraduation and the post-graduation degree. So they have to given by the lawyers, whether they are enrolled with the bar council or not enrolled by the, but they are going with the law degree. Sir, as per the Bar Council of India, rules of education, legal education part 4, there is a rule 20, which is minimum qualification needed for the faculty. The full-time faculty members, including the principal of the Center of Legal Education, shall be holder of a master's degree. मैं सर कोरिलेट करना चाहूंगा कि और AICT अपने नॉर्म्स में एक असिस्टेंट प्रोफेसर के लिए मिनिमम क्वालिफिकेशन डिजाइन करती है. BTech can be taken by a person who has qualified MTech with minimum 50% of marks. 55% of marks. But the thing, हमारे law colleges में assistant professor must possess LLM degree plus UGC NET qualified plus PhD. जो मेरे young जो pass out करके LLM आते हैं, they are not eligible to being the assistant professor in our law university or the law college. So I request on this dais it must be minimum qualification as per the rules of the Bar Council of India, as it is prescribed by the Pharmacy Council of India as well as AICT and some other councils. They have also nominated undergraduate can be taught by the postgraduate assistant professor. But in the present scenario, the University Grant Commissions is not giving the permission to the candidates who have passed LLM degree to become the assistant professor. Second thing, sir, हम लोगों के यहाँ पर, as all of us we know, कि हम लोगों के यहाँ theoretical के साथ साथ practical subjects भी होते हैं, जिसको Bar Council of India के course curriculum में clinical subjects कहा गया है. Because there is a foundation of the time. I'll brief in couple of minutes कि जो theoretical subjects होते हैं like moot court, we have to prepare for the theoretical subject as well as to the practical subject. यहाँ पर हम लोगों के सामने सर आता है कि दो examiners आते हैं and both are the academicians, internal examiners and the external examiner. हम मानते हैं कि जो academic part है उसके लिए internal examiner is good enough. But the practical experience जो एक practical lawyer है जो एक दे सकते हैं जो newcomers students को, that can be provided by a lawyer. हम चाहते हैं कि external examiner for the practical clinical subject must be a lawyer who has minimum 10 years of experience. It is very much clear by the Bar Council of India in its rule 20 state that, however, faculty for teaching clinical program may be appointed from the retired judicial officers or from the bar a person with professional experience of a minimum period of 10 years. BCI ने इसको प्रिस्क्राइब किया हुआ है, लेकिन जो एफिलिएटिंग यूनिवर्सिटीज हैं या यूजीसी है, they are not giving the permission for such type of the experienced legal personals. As far as the concern, I fully support to the resolution passed by the Global Young Lawyers Association of India. I am very thankful to the DICE. They are just giving and provide such opportunity to the young lawyers of my country. Jai Hind. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Now may I take the opportunity to invite Shri Justice Talwan Singh Ji, retired judge of Delhi High Court, to please address the gathering.
Dignitaries on the dais, dear students and young lawyers. So I am a lawyer again. I think this is justice is just a superfluous part. I retired on 3rd of June and 4th of June I joined the probation back. So I am one of you. So I've been invited by Mr. Ajit Kumar ji and my elder brother Mittal sir is also here. Brother sir is here. Mr. Ansari is here. I think you've taken a very relevant topic, this organization. We have to look at it from every angle. International arbitration status, if those are doing arbitrations nowadays. We want to be as an international center for arbitration like Singapore and Dubai and London. Will it be possible without participation of international lawyers in international arbitration I'm talking about? Is it possible? You say कि आप आ जाइए, आप आर्बिट्रेशन हिंदुस्तान में करेंगे, हिंदुस्तान की कंपनी के साथ आपका डिस्प्यूट है, आप अपना वकील नहीं लाएंगे, हम वकील आपको देंगे. Is it possible? Just think the reverse of that. An Indian company has a dispute with an English company, okay? And you put a restriction, you say कि आप इंग्लैंड आ जाइए, आर्बिट्रेशन इंग्लैंड में होगा, इंटरनेशनल आर्बिट्रेशन है, आप हिंदुस्तान से आपका जो क्वालिफाइड वकील है पिछले 20 साल से कंपनी का काम देख रहा है, वो नहीं आपको रिप्रेजेंट करेगा, आपको इंग्लैंड में से वकील चूज करना पड़ेगा. Let us think about that. First thing. Second thing, my dear friend has talked about the 4 or 5 those big accounting firms. Even as on date, they are running, I'm candid in saying, law firms under the garb of accounting firms. They are running. Let us not close our eyes and think on very, say, narrow lines. All big law firms, both 4 or 5 of them, they are running all accounting firms. I won't name them, everybody knows them by name. They are running law firms for their clients without naming it. First way of doing it. Second way, I know many law firms, not only in UK but in other parts of the country, they have their shadow offices in India under the name of an Indian advocate. So it's already happening. You can't stop the globalization of the legal profession. We can only regulate it. And we should regulate it in the strictest form, the way to protect our young lawyers. Look at a third scenario. If a big law firm comes from US, UK or some other country, do you think that those lawyers who are charging $250 per hour in India, they will engage them or they will engage our lawyers who may charge $250 per month? Whom will they engage? They won't bring those lawyers here because their traveling time will be also counted in their working hours. They charge for the traveling time also. So, and third point, which I think, I don't know whether it was taken up or not, is the BPO. We are running a very flourishing BPO services in this country. So whether that is to be regulated or not to be regulated. All BPO firms, our young lawyers are working there. They are working for foreign lawyers or foreign law firms. So under which law, and sometimes there are foreign lawyers also sitting in BPO firms, training our Indian lawyers there in their own of the law, their own jurisdiction. What is to be done with them? So instead of just saying that we oppose every type of international cooperation and we want to be there, only Indian lawyers should appear. I'm not talking about courts, I'm not talking about litigation. Litigation, even the agreement which is there with the UK, it's not even full UK, it's English, England and Wales thing. Not even Scotland. Scotland is out of it. So the agreement doesn't talk about litigation. Litigation, no other counsel from any other jurisdiction can come and appear. And it's reciprocal. You can't go and appear there. People are most of the Indian lawyers who are practicing in UAE, Dubai and other places, Abu Dhabi, they have got a local lawyer as a senior partner. And they are practicing. So if you say stop, and there I'm telling you not hundreds, there are I think more than 1,000 law firms in UAE. If you say we won't allow any foreign lawyers to practice in this country, the other country will reciprocally will also stop. So we'll be able to give the employment to those lawyers who are running in dirhams right now, or maybe in UK and other places. So my take on this, I may or may not agree with the resolution. I'm not on that. My take on this is the WTO, my dear friend has talked about that. WTO pressures are there. The world is one global village. The jurisdictions are basically transnational now. Suppose, in this digital world, there are no territorial jurisdictions now. So what to do about those, you can say, international disputes? All these said disputes have to be resolved as per our Indian law, as per the international law. If it is international law, you will have international players coming in. So this is all food for thought. This August House can ponder over it and take a call. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Thank you. Now may I please request Zafar Islamji, who needs no introduction, and we see him day in, day out voice people's issues, to please address the gathering.
Thank you very much. Today, for a change, I'm feeling little nervous because I feel I'm the most incompetent person to speak a subject which I am absolutely zero on it. I have zero expertise and experience of legal system in India, or for that matter, of legal profession. Yet, when my friend and elder brother Vajpayee requested me to come over and speak a few minutes, I couldn't say no to him, despite knowing the fact that I will wonder what to speak. Having said that, I will attempt to speak something I have just read about the resolution and what BCI has initiated, dialogue or something that they are opening the door for the firm to practice in India as well, foreign legal firms. Of course, there may be many advocates and people who are from the profession, legal profession, would be debating it for pro, and they will think of the consequences of having opened the door for foreign legal firms in India. And I'm also, as a professional, I'm not a legal professional, nor a chartered accountant, but I'm a finance professional. And I understand that every decision which is being taken will always have the people to support it and people to negate it. And I'm sure that this discussion, and I will not discourage that this discussion should not take place, because there are many advantages of having a foreign firm and there are many disadvantages. So I wouldn't completely disregard the BCI, even though, as a professional I'm saying, even though the government has not taken a call on this, and I'm sure that the government will also evaluate the entire approach of BCI and what is the benefit it will accrue to the people of India and what it, or the business of India, what exactly it will, how it will harm. But as far as I understand, that especially having worked in a multinational firm and worked in not only in multinational firm but also worked in foreign location, New York, London, many places I have worked as a banker, and I have realized that every transaction I was doing out of India, I always had to engage a foreign lawyer because as Justice he was referring to that you have to engage a foreign lawyer to do transaction emanating out of India. So, and the kind of fees they were charging was phenomenal. Of course, he was right that we used to always negotiate with the law firm, Allen Overy and Clifford and Chance and many other firms that at inception, when the trade is actually being discussed with the client, while also before engaging a lawyer, we used to discuss about the fees they would charge, and we used to negotiate that fine up to this amount we will pay, and beyond that, even if you work day and night, but there is a ceiling on that amount. So, but still it used to be very high because the base level fee itself used to be very high. So we need to really evaluate whether the advantage of having a foreign firm in India, legal firm in India, having a base in India, whether the services they will provide will be cost effective, will be more and will create more competitiveness here, will definitely attract more talent to join those legal firms, because there are many legal firms who are individually owned by the firms which is owned by an individual. They are not paying the kind of salary they should be paying to young lawyer. I think you deserve, because you have to slog day and night. And the same person, I have experienced many times, and I'm speaking my mind, that I have seen many lawyers who used to work in Indian firm, and then when they joined the likes of Allen Overy or many other foreign firms, the same guy, their lifestyle has changed. Why? Because the compensation what they were getting was much steeper and cheaper than what he used to get. In terms of talent, I think it is the same guy. He was very talented. So, as a professional, I would say that I am only looking very myopically that what is the advantages for the young lawyers like you. But of course, there may be, I'm sure that somebody who will evaluate who feel that the protectionism is the only solution, or they feel that because India had been a colonial, part of the colonial, UK colonial, or English colonial, part of the colonial system, so that's why some system worries are still in our mind, or we are worried of competition, then yes, then attracting or inviting or adopting those foreign very detrimental to us. But I think it is let the government evaluate it, let the government decide whether it is important for us to have a foreign legal firm, whether it will definitely open the door for, like we are opening the door to have a shop in here, set up a shop there. But advantages, whether the advantages will be for our lawyers, young lawyers, to get a very competitive job, they will have more and more jobs, create more awareness, because when new areas are opened, you create a lot of opportunities for the young talents of the country. So I will, at this point in time, while I am supporting the resolution, but wholeheartedly I am not supporting. The reason why I am also somehow feel that I am a professional and I have been the beneficiary of working in a very competitive environment in a multinational firm. Having worked in a private firm, having worked in a government firm, and having worked in a multinational firm, my experience suggests that the more you work in a competitive environment, the more you work in an environment where you have to be accountable for your deliverables, your performance will also enhance substantially than what you anticipate for your own performance. So it is important for the young talent not to only get into this that the foreign firms should not come and it will create competition, or it will take away your opportunity. It will not happen. It will actually, sometimes I have seen that foreign firms, by virtue of coming to India, they have created more opportunities for Indian young talent. So, the government of India, the Ministry of Law Ministry, evaluating whatever they feel appropriate, keeping the interests of the mind, the country's interest of the mind, safeguarding the interest of the people of this country, safeguarding the interest of the young talent, young lawyers, then whatever decision they take, I think I will go for by that decision. But I also highlighted the advantages and disadvantages of having a professional and foreign firm in our country, because it creates a lot of opportunities for the young talent, and especially the who are more worried, the old lawyers or the young talent. I don't know. So young talents will never be overly concerned because they're just starting their career and they will have lot more opportunities to grab. I'm sure Vajpayee will be upset because I'm going beyond the resolution, but as a professional, I also feel like this is my responsibility to speak my mind. So, on a subject where I'm not coming on behalf of the party to speak. So there are some subjects as a professional we must speak our mind, and I think it needs to be debated, it needs to be discussed, it needs to be structured in a manner that will safeguard the interests of common young lawyer and safeguard the interests of the nation, besides creating more and more opportunities for everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. That was Mr. Zafar Islam advocating for healthy competition amongst professionals. May I now invite Ms. Ekta Mehta, advocate and social activist, to please address us.
Very good evening to all the ladies and gentlemen here and the distinguished members on the dais. My heartfelt gratitude to Vajpayee ji for having me here and for giving me 5 minutes of your time to express my views. Well, having been in the profession now for about 15 years, I do feel that yes, healthy competition is a given in this profession. But I also would like the members to acknowledge the fact that in our profession we have all sorts of lawyers, right from coming from humble backgrounds to lawyers coming from families who have lawyers who are coming from a legal background. And the main concern or the focus in whatever decision is taken, I think, should be to keep the young lawyers in mind who are essentially first generation lawyers and to survive in the competing market that we have today. So far as the resolution that has been brought about, yes, there are two ways of looking at it. We need to, like the previous speakers have mentioned, we do need competition, but yes, we do need a very strict regulation as well. I feel BCI does lay down strict regulations about it. Maybe it is a workable option to promote competition and, more importantly, professionalism. I think this profession also needs a lot of professionalism in the various legal demands that come out of our country. Not just arbitrations, as was mentioned by Justice Talwant Singh, but I think a lot of cross-border transactions is where we do need some input from global firms or from lawyers having some experience outside our jurisdiction. So I feel yes, it needs strict regulation, some mechanism to safeguard the interests of our local lawyers and local firms that are practicing. And these are my views on this topic. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Now may I take the opportunity to invite Shri H.K. Sharma, retired Additional Secretary, Government of India.
Dignitaries on the dais and off the dais, and a number of young friends and a very diverse participants, good evening to all of you. Having been in the government for over 38 years and talking on a topic which is totally different, it's a great elated feeling for me to be before you. I have heard the speakers before me talking on it. I'll share my views very briefly. I am of a very opinionated view on the subject that you can't live in silos in the today's world. You can't live in a compartmentalized world today. You can't really stop globalization today. And particularly in view of the fact that our economy has already touched $5 trillion, our Prime Minister is exhorting us to take it to the first three economies in next 5 years. Obviously, we also need globalization, liberalization. And it can't be the case that you focus on certain aspects of liberalization and do not focus on the other aspects of liberalization. So, therefore, it has to be a comprehensive view. And as I was hearing Vijay Sardanaji, the issue of GATS, commercial activities, commercial services, legal services are also commercial services, a more comprehensive view of the whole thing in view of the GATS provisions also needs to be taken. Another issue that bothers me is that these views came after that famous 2018 Supreme Court judgment in 2018. I just think why Bar Council of India took 5 years to frame these rules, and then also they have not done any consultation with all the stakeholders, particularly the young lawyers. So the views of a larger cross-section of the society should have been obtained rather than working on it in a very restricted sort of manner. And the kind of seminar we are having today, probably more of that should have been held in the 5 years after that. And probably better rules could have been formulated had that been done. Unfortunately, that has not been done. I also have issues with the reciprocity part of it. Reciprocity is okay. But there are many issues with the reciprocity as to how many, as I think Justice Tanwant Singh was mentioning, how many lawyers from UK to be allowed and how many of Indian lawyers to be allowed in UK. Think of the other larger dimensions. Let us say from African countries we have reciprocity. Many of them would like to come to India, but not many perhaps would like to go to Africa. So reciprocity dimensions have to be explored in a bigger way. Similarly, the issues regarding the qualification of the lawyers. Now, we do have problems with our own educational system of law, legal education in this country. We all know that there are institutions, though they are also giving LLB, same degree, but the quality issues are very much there. There are institutions giving LLB degree without proper attendance and other legal standards, though everybody professes to comply with BCI standards. So if we have the issues with our own legal educational standards, the issues in many other countries are much worse. So simply saying that the primary qualification in that country would be taken for the registration of lawyers may not help. It would rather create more problems. Likewise, this issue of fly in, fly out, 60 days limit in a period of 12 months. Again, there are going to be issues with it. Supposing this limit of 60 days is over, does it mean that you would have to engage another lawyer, another advocate after that period of 60 days is over. Has anyone thought about it? Probably not. All these deliberations are required to be done. More serious issue in my opinion is going to be with the issue of implementation of these regulations and controls. The kind of record we have in our system with implementation of these regulations and controls, we all know what happens in the government. Regulations, rules, everything is there, yet things go wrong. The case that immediately comes to my mind is the case of a public procurement wherein I have spent a lot of my time in working life. We had a simple rule, buy from L1 and opened it to the whole world. And we have seen the result, what happened. The country was flooded with the Chinese goods, even in the public buying. And nobody bothered. By the Chinese had such a strong hold on public procurement in this country that it was very, very difficult to come out of it. Now that we have come out with some regulations, registration of firms with land border sharing countries and all, yet things have not been sorted out. I shudder to think whether such a thing will happen with the registration of lawyers, foreign lawyers in this country, whether it will be flooded, and whether we would be in a position to really implement these regulations and controls. So all very serious issues to ponder over, and more such discussions are required. I, of course, would say that any decision on all these aspects has to be taken keeping in view the aspirations of this large population of young lawyers. And let me tell you, they would prove their worth given the opportunity. I, of course, feel that we should not be restrictive in this manner. If there are opportunities, let us take advantage of them. But leverage your advantage of being a country whose economy is going to be amongst the first three, and the requirement of legal professionals is going to increase. And in that sense, you can't say totally no to the foreign lawyers, but place in a mechanism in time, very deliberative one, and in the interest of the legal fraternity in this country. Thank you so much. Thank the organizations to give me this opportunity to share my thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now may I please invite Professor Komplak from University of Warsaw, Poland, to address us.
Many thanks for inviting me. I am here by chance, and I will be short in speaking about this program of globalization. You know, I am from the continent, I am from Poland, but at the same time from Europe. What is going in constitutional law in Europe? You will be surprised. I got to see a lot of textbook here. Human dignity, dignity of the person. You know, the German constitution, fundamental law, approved after the Second World War, start with the first article about the human dignity. No, about how is state organized, how is functioning this structure. Human dignity. We approved recently the Charter of Fundamental Law, who is part of this European law. And we start no without equality, no without its freedom, no speaking with this common notions, freedom, liberty, and so on, starts with human dignity. And I should here end my intervention because I cannot explain you what is the human dignity. I will only say that it is a very difficult category that should studied here, maybe the young people who are here will be interested in that. But Europe is living with that notion. In the United States, when I stayed many times, they speak human dignity. What is that? What is that? Category, philosophical, theological, but no, we don't know. Here I would like to end my intervention only with it if it will can be invited in some future. I will be talked more because I'm a little bit expert in this subject matter. Thank you for this possibility to speak today.
Thank you, Professor Komplex, for your crisp commentary. May I now take the opportunity to invite Sri Sunil Gargji, Chartered Accountant in his own right. Yeah, please.
Thank you, Vajpayee, for this organizing this debate. Dignities on the dais, of the dais, and especially young lawyers, young professionals here. First of all, I will congratulate to our scientists for Chandrayaan 3. And why I am saying so? Because after that successful launch, what our Honorable Prime Minister said, he said that this success is not for India only. This is going to be a global success. The data we are going to collect in the photo global use. And friends, we are a culture which believes in Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, the whole world is a family. Then why to worry about this global competition? We should not. And what I am saying so, especially to these young guys, being a chartered accountant in practice for the last 30 years, this opportunity is going to open a plethora of opportunities for young professionals. A lot of opportunities are coming to you. See, when our scientists, our engineers, our doctors can win the awards. We have the maximum number of CEO of the big companies. Our engineers are doing good in NASA, in Google, in Facebook. So why not our lawyers, our chartered accountants can do? And especially the commercial law, I will give you 2-3 examples. Always when we are dealing with the overseas clients, they are always issued with the double tax avoidance agreement, TTAA. And it's a very big area. A lot of disputes are there, authority for advance billing is there. Always we are feeling difficulty in royalty payments in so many areas. Once this area is opened with the reciprocity, we will also get an opportunity to go there and to set the tone with them, to have the arbitration with them. And another area is of course the contract vetting, contract drafting, contract enforcement. And I think very soon government might think over it to change the Indian Contract Act wholly. And it needs to be a new provision should be there. The contract should be more enforceable. Pricing. Areas like PMLA. You know, PMLA is not an Indian concern only. Financial Action Task Force. That was the international authority which did this PMLA. And so many whole opportunities are there in this commercial law, at least. Because I don't know about this CRPC and highway visa, but this is going to be a boon for young lawyers. Thank you, Vajpayee.
Thank you, Mr. Garg, for those comments. Now may I take the opportunity to invite somebody whom a lot of people have been asking when is he going to speak, Shri K.C. Mittalji, former Chairman, Bar Council of Delhi.
वाजपेयी जी जैसे संसारी मेरे दोस्त रविकांत चटर्जी जी मेरे और मन पर हमारे साथी बात करना और जितने भी मेहमान यहाँ मौजूद हैं और मेरे वकील साथी काफी लोग यहाँ नजर आ रहे थे, कुछ अभी बाहर चले गए लगता है। आदित्य सबको अंदर बुला लो। ये एक ऐसा इश्यू है जिसकी गहराई को समझना उतना ही गहरा है जितना शायद समुद्र की गहराई को समझने की जरूरत हो। मैं सरदाना जी ने कहा गेट के बारे में, माफ करना, इस पर एक बहुत बड़ा विवाद हो चुका है। लीगल प्रोफेशन या कोई भी प्रोफेशन गेट के शामिल नहीं है। वो उनका कंसेप्ट है कि सर्विस क्या है, हमारा नहीं है। और इसी इश्यू पर एक बहुत बड़ा विवाद, जब राम जेठमलानी जी लॉ मिनिस्टर थे 1999, उन्होंने भी यही बात कही एक वकीलों की महफिल में। उसका नतीजा क्या हुआ? वो भी था, सीबीसी भी थी उस वक्त। एक बहुत बड़ा एजिटेशन सारे हिंदुस्तान में हुआ, जिसमें बार काउंसिल्स भी शामिल थी, मद्रास से, तमिलनाडु से, दिल्ली से, सभी तरीके का। एक उसका एक कारण है जिसको हमें समझना जरूरी है। दूसरी बात, मैं सारे चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट्स हमारे दोस्त यहाँ मौजूद हैं, मेरे घर में भी 3-3, 4-4 लेकिन मैं उनसे बात नहीं रखता हूं। लीगल प्रोफेशन कमर्शियल एक्टिविटी नहीं है। ना कभी किसी ने माना है। लीगल प्रोफेशन बार बार सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कहा है ये नोबल प्रोफेशन है, कमर्शियल एक्टिविटी नहीं है। अगर आप चाहते हैं तो अगले दिन कंज्यूमर कोर्ट में आप ही सब खड़े होंगे, आपके खिलाफ मुकदमे नहीं लगेंगे। प्रोफेशन के पैरामीटर्स बिल्कुल अलग हैं हमारे, और इस बात को समझने के लिए मैं इतिहास में नहीं जाऊंगा, लेकिन एक अनुशासन, एक देशभक्ति और एक जुनून को लेकर वकीलों ने जिस तरीके से संघर्ष किया, किनसे किया और क्यों किया, और उसके बाद स्पेशल कमेटी बनी और 1960 बना। उस एक्ट में क्या प्रावधान है ये आपको बताना जरूरी है, और अब हमने ये काउंसिल वाले इसमें क्या किया है इसको भी समझना बहुत जरूरी है। और मेरे दोस्त ने भी A.K. बालाजी के जजमेंट का चर्चा किया, मैं उसका भी थोड़ी सी आपको बताऊंगा। A.K. बालाजी अभी जो नोटिफिकेशन किया है बार काउंसिल ने, उसमें फॉरेन लॉयर्स और लॉ फर्म्स को दफ्तर खोलने की इजाजत दी, हिंदुस्तान के किसी भी कोने में जाकर एडवोकेट एक्ट में तो कोई ऐसी इजाजत की प्रावधान नहीं है। पार्लियामेंट अमेंड करे तो अलग बात है, एडवोकेट एक्ट इस तरीके की इजाजत नहीं देता। नंबर 2, सेक्शन 29, सेक्शन 30 और 33 एडवोकेट एक्ट, जिसके तहत आप वकील बनते हैं, आप तक उनको वही अख्तियार, वही स्टेटस दे दिया, तो पहले क्या you have recognized given that status and all privileges and advantages in the 30, 29, 30, 31, 33. Number 3, हमारे यहाँ 1976 में when Ms. Gokhale was the law minister, एडवोकेट एक्ट में एक अमेंडमेंट की गई थी, लॉ फॉर्म सॉलिसिटिंग अटर्नी, the word used attorney, which my friend would be going to say, attorney is the word used in England and Western countries. Attorney is those who run solicitor forms. That was deleted. That's not permissible. एक्ट में लॉ फर्म्स नाम की कोई चीज नहीं है। ये वकालत का जो ढांचा बनाया गया, ये सिर्फ सेल्फ क्वालिटी और परफॉर्मेंस पे डिपेंड करता है। एक वकील कितनी परफॉर्मेंस कोर्ट में देता है, उसी के परफॉर्मेंस के आधार पर इसको दिया गया, और इसीलिए इसको नोबल प्रोफेशन माना गया है, इसीलिए इसमें कमर्शियल एक्टिविटी अलाउड नहीं। आपके साथ एक और चीज जुड़ती है, वो क्या है कि वकील सिर्फ संघर्ष कोर्ट में ही नहीं करता, और खास तौर से जो बच्चे लॉ स्टूडेंट्स हैं वो भी। हमारी एक्टिविटीज मल्टीफेजेस एक्टिविटीज हैं। आप सड़क पे जाके भी लड़ते हो न्याय के लिए, आप दूसरी जगह जाकर अगर किसी दफ्तर में गलत चीज हो रही है तो वहां भी न्याय के लिए लड़ते हो। आपका काम क्या है? फाइट फॉर द जस्टिस। यू आर इनसाइड द कोर्ट, आउटसाइड द कोर्ट, performing the cause for justice, and that is the reason why this profession has not been treated equivalent to chartered accountant, architects, or anybody. This profession is totally on a different footing, and that is the reason why in 1961 when the act was framed, after a lot of discussion and debates, this profession, even today, the Supreme Court has repeatedly said it's a noble profession. We can't compromise with the dignity of the profession. How do you maintain it? अब आप सुनिए क्या होने वाला और क्या हो रहा। ये मत मानिए, मैं ये मान के नहीं चलता हूं कि आज के दिन हमारे प्रोफेशन में गलत काम नहीं हो रहे हैं। आपने सही कहा, लेकिन इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि हम अपने सिस्टम को बदल दें। अगर मेरे शरीर का कोई अंग खराब है तो उसको इसका इलाज करूंगा, ना कि शरीर का ही इलाज करूंगा। सॉलिसिटिंग इज नॉट फार्मास्यूटिकल्स। इस नोटिफिकेशन में क्या किया है? लॉ फर्म्स आएंगी, दे आर परमिटेड टू सॉलिसिट। आप एडवर्टाइजमेंट भी देंगे, आप दुकान भी खोलेंगे, आप कमीशन भी बांटेंगे, तो वकालत क्या रहेगी? फिर तो दुकान होगी ना। आप लीगल प्रोफेशन को दुकान बनाना चाहते हैं। जिस प्रोफेशन को हमने किसी और पान से खून से जीचा, उसको हम यहां लाके खड़ा करना चाहते हैं। अच्छा, अनएक्सेप्टेबल। हम एक बात में बार बार कहते हैं कोर्टों में, और आज भी लड़ रहे हैं, हमारी कमर्शियल एक्टिविटी नहीं है। और सुनिए इंटरेस्टिंग, आप कहते हैं सॉलिसिटिंग तो आप करिए, हिंदुस्तान में जहां मर्जी फैल जाइए, बार काउंसिल के नॉर्म्स आप पे लागू नहीं होंगे। You will be subject to your own norms of the country. मतलब गुनाह यहाँ करेंगे और सजा वहां मिलेगी, ये तो कोई संभव ही नहीं है। सोच और ये है, मैं खुद जब मैंने एक एक चीज को इसको देखने की कोशिश की, और तुम आगे देखिए। आप हम बात करते हैं रेसिप्रोसिटी की। शुरू में जब इसको देखा गया तो कुछ लोगों का ये था कि हाँ रेसिप्रोसिटी है। मैंने कहा देखो प्रोविजन कहाँ है, आंख में चोरी। अगर आप इसकी सच्चाई को देखें तो रेसिप्रोसिटी नहीं है, और है तो कितने लोगों के लिए। रूल क्या कहता है यहाँ, जो कि रेजोल्यूशन में गिरा, हिंदुस्तान के वकील को SQE, पहले सॉलिसिटर फॉर्म इंग्लैंड और वेल्स से रजिस्टर कर